ओके जी, संगम स्टार्स के एक और एपिसोड के साथ आज हमारे साथ एक वेटरन प्रेजेंटर है जिनको इस फील्ड में अरसा हो चुका है और वो ऊपर आ रहे हैं सीढ़ियां चढ़ते हुए, देखते हैं पहुंचने वाले हैं और कौन है आज हमारे साथ। और
हेलो गुड इवनिंग।
गुड इवनिंग कुलदीप भाई,
क्या हाल चाल है?
मैं बिल्कुल ठीक ठाक हूँ। बाहर ठंड ज्यादा है या कोविड-19 का ज्यादा ख्याल किया जा रहा है?
ये दो चीजें हो रही हैं।
हाँ,
एक तो ठंडी की
सही,
ठंड है ना बाहर,
जी।
और दूसरी है कि देखो यार, पता नहीं आजकल के जमाने में कुछ चल रहा है, कहते हैं इसको क्या, कोविड कुछ कहते हैं।
हाँ, कोविड-19।
So इसलिए यार I'm keep trying to keep myself safe.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
How are you, sir?
I am absolutely fine and thank you very much. संगम स्टार की एपिसोड हम आपके साथ आज रिकॉर्ड करने वाले हैं and a Sangam Star is behind the scene episode where we ask for your experience working in this industry, and of course you are a veteran presenter. You've been in this field for so long.
But before we start, as always in the studio, what wonderful things I like to see is that we've got a cleaning stuff, you know, and hand wipes and everything, which we use to make sure that everything is hunky-dory before we go on, as per guidance. And I will obviously take this off before, because you can't really talk on the microphone. But phir bhi, I'll use one of these wipes just to clean the the microphone and things.
Yep.
So anyway, tell me, how was your show, sir?
My show was fine. I was just on air just before you, and I knew that you was going to walk up, so that's why I had to finish it off quickly. And I thought we'll surprise you with this behind the scene thing. So Kuldip bhai, thank you very much. आप हमारे इस show में feature कर रहे हैं.
Thank you.
Kuldip bhai, बताइएगा. Of course, you've been in this field for over 30 odd years, and things have changed. You worked behind the scenes for big radio station, I would say the mother of radio stations, and of course you are with Radio Sangam now. Things have changed a lot since your time when you started radio and now. What is the main difference?
Brother, when I first started, none of this stuff was as it is now.
Okay.
पहली तो गल सी कि हुन मेरी उर्दू पंजाबी हिंदी सब कुछ मिक्स हो जाती है.
No problem.
ठीक है ना. What we used to do was, जब मैंने पहले स्टार्ट किया, I started with Radio Newcastle, BBC Radio Newcastle, and I went for my training down south in with London at the BBC headquarters, and when we were there, we learned the tricks of the trade. So the tricks of the trade was कि पहले तो all the music was never on CDs and everything else. We used to have reel to reel. Now I'm showing my age. You see? And we used to have these reel to reels, and एक तो वो था, और दूसरा we used to have the LPs. So we used to actually record from the LP onto the tape, and then if we made a mistake, if the tape went wrong, what we would do is we would you would splice the tape, and sometimes you were splicing the tape a song that was due to go on like 30 seconds before it was due to go on.
Okay.
Right? So you had all of that equipment around you. You played the music, you played it from that, you played it from the odd time if you could play it from a record player. But we used to have to do something called needle time. So you used to know, जैसे कि अब यहाँ पता है ना हमें कि ये गाना चलने वाला है और इसमें 30 seconds पड़े हैं before it starts, and then this is when he's going to finish. उसमें भी हमें लिखना पड़ता था.
Okay.
कौन सा गाना है, कब start हुआ, कब खत्म होगा, all of that. And then we had to say, you know, कि you had to submit that to management for them to pass on.
Okay.
So एक तो वो गल सी. दूसरी गल सी कि अपने adverts ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੀ ਨਾ, ਇੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ ਬੜਾ ਆਸਾਨ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ. ਐਸ ਰੇਡੀਓ ਸਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਬੜਾ ਆਸਾਨ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਯਾਰ ਕਿ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਚੱਲ ਪੈਂਦਾ. ਹਾਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਰੇਡੀਓ ਤੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, we used to have adverts, but not adverts as adverts. There used to be adverts along advertising the next show, advertising who's coming, advertising if there's a particular person coming into the studio, etc. And they used to be called carts. यार we used to have a this high 9 carts.
Okay.
So you said, so if you say, listen to BBC Radio 1, you know, you'd place the cart and you press a green button. and it would play it. And you had to remember that when it had played and gone green, it stopped. You then had to press the red button to stop it for it to rewind. Otherwise, what would happen is that would just repeat.
Oh.
So, there were lots of things, and you had to learn, you had to rehearse, and you had to learn, you couldn't ad-lib. Very difficult, because you had a particular time frame. So, you're starting at this time, you're finishing this time. Exactly everything was timed to the mintan skintan de vich. Hunathe, things have changed. We've got, music around us, we've got information around us, we've got all sorts of things around us, which this computer does things for you. True. Lekin, like the thing you were doing earlier about guess the tune. If you were to do that in the old days, you would have probably had about 6 different cars.
Yeah.
Right? And then you would be changing them constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. This has made it easier.
Of
Ahsan ho
course.
gaya. Lekin, for some of us who learnt in the old way, we also had to have knowledge about the song. We had to understand uska meaning kya tha. There was no point in just playing a song for the sake of
course.
So when you make reference to music, or you make reference to stars of previous Bollywood movies, or any movie that you're using, you've got to have an understanding. Aajkal ke zamane mein you press a button ho jaye, Google dekh lo. Google will tell you everything, So things have changed. They've modified. They've gone up. And I've enjoyed it. I've been, as you say, nearly 30 odd years I've been doing it. The buzz is there. And I'll say one thing, and I've said it many times, and you know this, okay, when I come in through the doors and I sit here, I'm not complacent. In the sense ke mujhe wohi जज्बा कह लो जाओ कुछ भी जो कि पहले था
वही आता है
वो है. And the day you come here and sit down and go, yeah, कोई गल नहीं मैं कर लांगा. That's the day things go wrong.
That's it. Right, that was my next question as well. Of course, when even I started, good 22 years ago, and when you started, it's around 35 years ago, things were very different.
Very different.
And to get into this field, it was very different, very difficult as well. You couldn't just sit and present a show. Now it's dead easy. You come in, and if you want to become a presenter, the next day you might be presenting your show. But back in the days, it wasn't that easy. You had to learn so many things. Unless you were in a pirate radio station, and then you could go on air straight away. But for legit radio stations, it was very hard. Kuldip bhai, आप अपना show start कर लें ताकि हम वो भी moment capture करना चाहते हैं. And then of course our talk will carry on.
Chalo, thank you very much. Good evening and a very warm welcome to the Love in Paris show. It starts at 7 o'clock all the way through till 9. Acha no. Pehle to 107.9 FM or www.radiosangam.co.uk pe aap sun rahe hain Kuldip ko all the way through till when 9, of course. It's a Thursday evening on the DAB platform on 107.9 and on the 3ws.radiosangam.co.uk. GINO, welcome, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good evening, good morning. Doesn't really matter wherever you are. लेकिन गीत जो है आपको मालूम होगा और तनवीर भाई को भी मालूम होगा कि मेरा एक मसला ये है कि गीत को खराब नहीं करना चाहिए. ठीक है ना. मैं इस गीत को इसलिए खराब किया है यार, ये फ्राइडे का गीत है, आज तो थर्सडे है. लेकिन the computer's choosing it, so not to worry. चलो never mind. और गीत फिर से लगा देंगे. I'll rewind it and start again. Not to worry, okay? Because I know some people really love this one. Sudesh Bhosle, of course, and Kavita Krishnamurthy. So, my friends, if you're doing anything today in various lockdown environments, whatever it might be, then by all means, give us a call. You know the number by heart by now, 0744 202 155. That's right, 0744 202 155. Or if you want to talk to us in the studio, well, you know what to do. 01484 17705. From the heart of Huddersfield, then, this, of course, is Radio Sangam. Nice to have your company as always. तो मैंने कहा था ना मैं गीत को मैं खराब नहीं करना चाहता and I know that lots of times people complain and say यार मैंने गीत पूरा सुनना था आपने खराब ही कर दिया और चलो ठीक है जैसे आप कहते हैं फिर से स्टार्ट करते हैं ठीक है Here we go then once again good evening
Kuldip bhai,
हाँ भाई
it was amazing. Acha Kuldip bhai, I've asked this question from so many presenters. Do you think the radio field is declining? Do you think not many people are listening? People are busy with their smartphones. People are doing so much other things like social media and stuff. Do you think this field is declining, or do you think it's at its peak at the moment?
No, I don't think it's at its peak. I think it is still on an upward curve, and I think. It's an upward curve because the media is such that you can pick this stuff up on your smartphones. So you know we can go wherever we want, and just taking this station as an example, we can listen to it wherever we are. So in a way, it's on an up. I think where it is declining is where some of our youngsters are more interested in listening to some of the not the contemporary stuff, but the new stuff. Now, the problem with that is great, but there will be a time when वो भी बूढ़े होंगे. And ये गाना जो चल रहा है, अब ये आपको एक सवाल करना चाहिए अपने आप को कि in 20 years time will you listen to the same song? And I think the chances are probably not. You'll probably want to hear the song that we have been playing, like some of the songs you played.
Yeah.
You know, Sajan ka geet hai jo, for example.
Yeah.
You know, 20 years from now, it will still be popular.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it is on an increase. It is also a medium in which people can advertise and all sorts, you know, and get I suppose, more people listening to it because of that. Because, you know, मैंने advertise किया है जी, तुसी सुने हो नू. You know, so because of that, it increases. So I think the popularity of radio will never disappear.
Kuldip bhai, one more question, and that is regarding interviews. In 30 years, you must have interviewed so many celebs, from artists to singers, and you know, travelers, all sorts. The most difficult interview you have ever had at radio station?
But yeah, to be honest with you, the most difficult one was I got thrown in at the deep end, and I had to interview Apne Gurdas Man.
Oh,
now he's a lovely man.
Okay,
and he's very affable. He will take you through the journey and everything. Lekin, you know what? If you're not prepared and you don't know some of the questions, and you confuse some of the issues with मैंने तो ये गाना कभी गाया नहीं है, you know, or along those lines, then you're in deep trouble.
Yeah.
Right? So that was, I think Gurdasman was a difficult one, the most difficult. But the best one I had, I had two interviews. And one was with Zainab Ekhtiar, when she came. And, you know, we had a long chat about her career, even though it's a very short career, but in terms of her movies and how she got in, and you know, and she said that the biggest film that she remembered and that for her was worrying in terms of her acting prowess was Raj Kapoor's film, you know, and she said it was just so difficult to do because she said she demanded from herself something better, something more, something really exceptional, because it was Raj Kapoor. Right, so that was but it was fascinating listening to what she had to say. And then the second one was with Mahesh Bhatt.
Okay.
Now that was my favorite amongst many others that I've done. But Mahesh Bhatt was just fantastic. I remember asking him a question. I said I didn't know how to call him. I didn't know what to call him. You know, I said, sir, मैं आपको क्या नाम पुकारूं? तो कह रहे हैं जो अपना दिल करता है. तो मैंने कहा बड़े भैया ठीक है. तो कहते हैं हाँ ठीक है जी बड़े भैया. तो मैंने कहा बड़े भैया कि what was, you know, what's a movie that you would say for you that is something that reflects where you come from and what you say is who you are. And he says my biggest movie, the best movie that I've ever made for me is Tamanna.
Okay.
Interestingly.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to the story behind it and all the rest of it, it's a reflection of his life. और मैंने उनको कहा, मैंने कहा बॉलीवुड में quite often गाने वही चलते हैं, फिल्में भी वही चलती हैं, जड़ी कि you know they're common to some degree, that you know, triangle or boy meets girl, girl's parents don't like boys, but something happens eventually, you know. He says, yeah. I said, and he had just made, I think he'd been involved in something or the other with Man. So he said, classic story. He says, it's like Titanic. But he says, why shall I make Titanic in Hindi when it's already there in English?
In English, yeah.
So he says, so मेरे गाने भी उस तरह होंगे और मेरी movies भी उस तरह की होगी. And in a way, you know, it was a fantastic chap to talk to, and he made you feel so easy. And some of the stories that he told me, I can't share with you on.
Okay, no problem, Kuldip bhai. It was fantastic chatting to you. Any message to all our listeners out there, or to all your fans who are usually glued up to the radio whenever you walk in?
मैं तो सिर्फ कहूँगा सभी को, wherever you are, और ये मेरे दिल से है कि it doesn't matter who you are, you know, from me to you, irrespective of whether you are whatever faith, जी आया हूँ. I start off with that, and I always say, I hope that whatever I do here, I do a small bit where it makes you आपका दिल खुश कर रहे हैं. And to everybody out there, please, आप ही का रेडियो स्टेशन है, क्या हमारा वही टैग टाइटल दिलों का
मिलाने वाला. क्या बात है. थैंक यू वेरी मच भाई, अपना बहुत सा ख्याल रखिएगा. थैंक यू जी. और जितने भी हमारे देखने वाले हैं, एक और एपिसोड के साथ बहुत जल्द हाजिर होंगे. अगर आपने हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया, जल्दी से कर लीजिए. With another episode with another presenter, we'll be back soon. So keep it locked, Radio Sangam.